G'day! Today in episode 501 of Trent365, Nike and Tiger and the long game. G'day. Here in Bali, again, just checked in for the week, and Tiger Woods has just won his 15th major, and I think it's the 5th time now he's won the US Masters. And to me, what is interesting about this is not the golf, because quite frankly, I don't really follow the golf, but to me, it's an interesting story in branding, because Nike, who have stuck with him since the day he went pro back in '96, through 2009 when he had his big sex scandal, I think it was 2017, he had a big drink driving issue, which became big news. They stuck with him all the way throughout saying, listen, the guy's got some issues, he's working through them, we're going to be there with him. And today, they're saying that the coverage of just the final round of the Masters, the brand exposure that Nike got just purely by the Nike swooshes all over his uniform, all over his clothes, that exposure was worth, in the final round alone, mind you, was worth in excess of $22 million. And that doesn't count all of the clothes that they sold out of, right? All of the Tiger branded clothes and apparel that they sold out of in the store. And to me, the interesting story about that is that it kind of exemplifies that branding is really a long game. It's for the long term. It's not a short-term play. And for whatever reason, Nike have decided, well, not whatever reason, I think we know the reason, Tiger clearly has identified himself as a champion of golf. They identified that early. They said, listen, he's got personal issues. We're going to draw a line. We're going to separate the personal issues from the professional golfer, because from our brand perspective, that's what we stand for. Now, we can argue all day long whether that's a right or wrong moral stance, but I think the funny thing about sports is that I think people tend to forgive those kind of personal failures, if you like, as long as you perform on a professional scale and, as long as you don't go out and kill somebody. Infidelities and things like that, frankly, don't seem to matter a great deal when it comes to sports, certainly from a brand value perspective, I think. At least not in the long term. And again, that's where branding goes. I think it's also an interesting story about the brand of Tiger Woods himself. He's started off as a champion and he went through some issues, got through those issues, come out the other side. And in many ways, I think he probably wins a few more fans out of something like this as well. And again, going back to that issue of what works and what doesn't work for this particular type of segment, if you like, the sports athlete segment of branding, if we want to look at that, for whatever those reasons are, right, wrong, or indifferent, it seems that the market, the consumers have decided, well, we actually don't care so much if these guys do the wrong thing. We understand they're human, we understand they're going to make mistakes, we only really care about them as professional athletes as long as they don't do anything too drastic. So I think from a brand perspective, again, the other lesson to learn is that what seems to be black and white maybe in any other segment of the world, any other facet of your life, doesn't necessarily hold true when it comes to the brand if the market for your particular brand has decided and declared, well, those things are not important to us. Not suggesting that we should all go off and try the Tiger Woods approach to branding, but I do think it's an interesting observation that the consumers seem to have forgiven him. The market seems to have forgiven him for his failures. They've acknowledged that he's made a mistake. He's acknowledged he's made a mistake. He's come up, he's got through it, and now everyone is back on the Tiger train. So again, not from a sporting perspective, not from a personal perspective, but I think purely from a brand perspective, it's a really interesting case study what's gone on with Tiger Woods over the last few years and where it's ended up today. Alrighty, that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.